Well, the exhibit I'm very happy with because it includes a variety of subjects and a whole variety of backgrounds for the individual artists, anywhere from neuroscientists to jewelry designers to fashion designers. And it also looks at the history, as I mentioned before, of imaging. So anything from X-rays to PET scans to MRIs. It goes from the old to the new. The newest being the imagery that Virgil and Akshay are producing in the medical mirror. It also goes to stereolithography, which is a new technique behind this area of making an image from a computer into a 3D object.
Working with several media over the years. I started with two-dimensional and I'm now interdisciplinary, and I keep expanding. I love working with just about anything you give me, and I actually come from background in science and art, so this type of thing is really appealing to me. I've always been fascinated with the human body, so the body is central to my work. Whether I'm dealing with it through absence or presence, through ephemeral. I've found that working in the age that we're in right now, technology is taking a huge turn and affecting art in a very big way. So this piece I've done has twofold effect. On one level, I'm using analog X-rays here, and these X-rays are playing with transparencies. They're dealing with subtle effects of imagery where you're not really aware of what you're looking at until you look at it closely. Analog X-rays are actually being phased out right now, so I'm reappropriating it into this three-dimensional installation, giving it new life. I'm very interested also in the body and how it translates into a digital image or an analog image. I found the analog images are absolutely fascinating. They have a certain quality to them, similar to the traditions of photography that we used to have before we shifted over to digital. And so I've been working with these actual X-rays, working with a person out of Kansas, and working with this specific type of X-rays that we're no longer really using. They're actually quite hard to come across. There are images here of the skull and the spinal cord, which are sort of interwoven in through the light, using light and darkness to create a visual effect and an emotional effect. Ultimately, I would love to, of course, have an entire room, and you parade through the space. You would have the light trickling down through the X-rays upon the person walking through, therefore having effect on the shadows and becoming somewhat interactive. I'm always interested in some sort of interactive sort of platform, whether it's a dialogue that starts up between the viewer and the participant, or on some level to sort of react or response. And on that note, this actual piece that I did here started as a result of what happened exactly about 1 year ago. So it's almost like the anniversary, which had me start working on this piece. I was writing an article about the disaster in Japan. And I came across a lot of information about what was happening at the nuclear power plant. And so this piece is actually a tribute to the famous 50, the people that worked at the power plant. And I was really moved to work with the X-rays with this particular piece. I've since sort of expanded out to work with the X-rays with other sort of aspects of it. The body is a very powerful image. It's something very personal. It's something that we all sort of react to, whether we're looking from within or without. So there's different aspects to that that are incorporated into this piece, right down to not only the imagery, but I'm talking a lot about history, about culture, about progress through this piece. The copper, the plastic, the metal, they all relate to men and transparency are materials we use every day. The copper, I'm fascinated by the age of man, and we started working with stones, and we moved up to copper, and then the age of bronze. So man having sort of learned to handle metals has affected his progress too, and we've sort of moved ahead from that. But copper is often being used in many levels of civilization, and that includes for growth and expansion of different cultures as well. So it's a very powerful weapon, and it's very opaque too. I like that. You'll see the little holes there, and it allows the light to filter through, so you have this sort of interesting effect that sort of perforates the body or the X-ray and creates another sort of level. It's almost like a constellation or something else. Everybody will walk away with something different from this piece, whether it's science or art. Thank you.
Naomi's piece, which I love, is for a few reasons. It's X-rays, and she mentioned that analog X-rays are hard to find, which is beyond true. I was surprised and wanted to have some light boxes present. I asked around the hospital I work at. There's still some that are embedded in the walls. Can't take those. And otherwise, I said, oh, yeah, that should be easy. I'm sure I can get light boxes. And oh yeah, we threw all those out. Nobody uses those anymore.
I think Naomi's piece fits into the history of medicine, the history of anatomy, and the history of imaging. Because she's one of the few people that's working with the radiograph or the retinogram, also known as an X-ray. And it is, as she mentioned, a technique that is actually supplemental now to the PET scans, MRIs, and other imaging techniques, but it's being fallen out of favor. So I think it's really valuable to include her work in the history of imaging.